Hello everyone, hope you're all doing fine today. My name is Paola, I'm part of the strategy team at METCHA and I'm here today representing us in presenting to you METCHA Forward. METCHA Forward is an exclusive report where we present 28 leather-oriented trends that will shape the near future. Okay, but what is METCHA? Well, METCHA is a global initiative aimed at taking leather-oriented design to the spotlight. This thriving platform is powered by Leather Naturally, with the main goal to make leather a valuable part of the everyday lives of young generations. We bring together creatives, stories, and ideas about creative culture across the globe. And we have Gen Z and Millennials as our target and biggest consumers. Right now, we are impressing over 40 million people every month. Our content is a fresh combination of exclusive materials produced in partnership with creative exponents and constantly dedicated research performed by digital natives. And it's because of this volume of exclusive and daily data that we are able to map trends for the industry through consistent monitoring and a direct network with who is moving the desire of the end consumer. So, all trends we are going to see are leather-oriented and cover all major leather industry-related categories: sustainability, lifestyle, fashion, sneakers, furniture, and automotive. Our first category is sustainability, and we are starting talking about the local design trend. So, what we see here is that by expanding the coverage of sustainability pillars beyond the environmental, new brands bet on the social and economic approach to it. In this sense, products designed aiming at global consumers will progressively have a local approach, valuing the local community, identity, and heritage is no longer detachable from ethical production. An example is Maria Maleta, a Portuguese leather goods brand that has always choose its supply chain carefully to be local and ethical. In this report, after each trend, we added related articles that you can read on METCHA's website. At this presentation, we are going to jump them, but you can read it after. We will make it available later on our website. So, the next trend we are going to talk about is what we called Keep It Natural. The term organic has boomed in recent years, and what was initially focused on food has been expanding for more and more products. And it has reached leather, a natural and sustainable material that we are seeing that can fulfill consumers' expectations of durability and low environmental impact. Brands are renewing their focus on sustainability by reminding customers of this organic origin of leather. As we know, one of the biggest challenges for the fashion industry as a whole is the issue of surplus materials. New brands are taking advantage of that by making new products out of surplus leather from the big ones. But also, established brands are looking for more sustainable processes and reusing their own surplus leather, like Chloe with its surplus projects. As well as surplus materials, the disposal of products is a huge challenge in the consumption cycle when it comes to sustainability, and, of course, a latent concern for society. And leather, for its undeniable durability, quality, and malleability, is a material that can be repurposed. Young creators and bold brands are embracing this issue as a creative catalyst through upcycling. But what makes these upcycled pieces real gems for consumers is a plus artsy approach with a street style hype twist. Some more related articles, and we go to lifestyle. And we're going to talk about one of the major movements of this generation. Style, like any form of culture and as a creative area, is always evolving through culture. And Generation Z has actively participated in this evolution in the past few years, showing the industry that they reject any kinds of labels, like for boys and for girls especially, that have shaped style for a long time, but not anymore. 60% of Ziners stay far from sections divided by gender, proving that the future of style is definitely non-binary. And leather can be a bold creative partner in this statement. Sustainability is also referred in here as a lifestyle. It has evolved for not just a worry, but a lifestyle, and a hyped one. It has become synonymous with true luxury and futurism, raising the desire for consumption. In this sense, leather goods have a powerful combination that is much sought after: natural origin and a long durability. Buy less, buy better is the mantra of those opting for a slow living with more concern for the environmental impacts. What we can also see in forward-thinking nostalgia, driven by these new sustainable consumption ideas, but also by a deep collective desire to escape the current years of recession and information overload, young people are looking for inspiration in other times. But contrary to the rescue of trends that fashion has always done, this nostalgic look can be seen not only in clothes, but in lifestyles, mannerisms, hobbies, and aesthetics for pretty much everything else. And it's not only limited to a specific decade either. It goes from the rescue of rural Victorian life to the emo scene of the mid 2000s. What's important to note is that this nostalgia does not include the rescue of conservative and retrograde values, but rather adapts them to the diverse and conscious values of the new generations. What also drives us to a new valuation of heritage and artisanship. In reaction to the age of mass production and consumption, artisanship is gaining cultural power and, with it, rescuing heritage. This valuation, valid for all consumer products, adds uncomplicated luxury and social identification to pieces like leather goods of all types. Going slightly another way, but not so much if you think about it, we have the leather in tech trend. Leather and technology, as yet an obvious pair, have increasingly appeared among smart gadget choices. Leather cases provide basic protection and add a premium and more fashionable look that complements the display. This combination can satisfy the desires of audiences as diverse as businessmen and women, and young people looking for a vintage cover for their gadgets, for living their nostalgic aesthetics, for example. Moving on to fashion, we can say that in general terms, we are noticing more and more the use of leather in very distinct trends, like in sculptural shapes using leather as a canvas. This trend is seen more on red carpets, in inciting silhouettes as contemporary my body is art statement. Here, the ultimate example is, of course, Zendaya and her bespoke Balmain leather gown worn at the Dune premiere. Unbelievable, unbelievable, all leather. On the other hand, what we see here is a bolder approach of fashion as a way to cope with the remains of the pandemic. From comfort going through protection to become a solid statement for the most authentic personas, leather plays its part in the building of real armors, as we named it. Utilitarian design gets together with pop culture to provide head-to-toe leather outfits, as we can see on Kanye West's Donda outfits, and even in The Matrix Return. Another interpretation of escapist fashion is in this aesthetic full of ramifications and powered by TikTok. Although cottagecore is not fresh news, this living in the woods ethos now has even more specific references, which convey a longing perception of what a calmer, simpler, and more magical world will look like. That is translated in fairy-like apparel made of leather, corset laces, and other delicate elements. Focusing on handbags, what we are noticing is that classic and high-end bags are stealing more and more the spotlight on streetwear, on their classy versions, be it for the exclusivity, the soft-spoken about ode to craftsmanship, or even the inherent leather qualities that make these bags last a lifetime. Well, remember crazy colorful hairstyles and dark makeup from the 2000s? They're back. Emo and other aesthetics from indie rock and similar music genres are once again influencing fashion. The difference of a couple decades ago is a more diverse scene led by Gen Z. We highlight artists like Willow Smith and the Italian phenomenon Maneskin. From now on, we are expecting more customized leather belts, boots, and jackets, besides, of course, checkered black and white patterns. Next, we are going to see what is fresh in the sneakers world. Power collabs. Collaborations are no news in this world. But not only high-end brands are teaming up with classic sneaker labels for new launches, but also rising voices in music and apparel. The result are exclusive pairs ready to sell out, as we can see in Travis Scott for Nike's Air Jordans, or even Beyoncé Ivy Parks for Adidas. Moving to leather uppers for lasting collections, what we spot here is an opportunity for the expansion of leather valuation on sneaker culture. Recently, a TikTok trend has surfaced around the fact that sneakers from the 90s and 2000s can be completely destroyed without being used because of low quality materials that crumble over time. What also highlighted for sneakerheads that the same does not apply to leather uppers. Materials with the quality and durability of leather and suede remain in incredible conditions. in sporty but make it luxury, we also see new types of strong collaborations using leather as a premium material, but between sportswear and high fashion maisons, like Margiela with Reebok, Prada with Adidas, and Dior with Nike. Moving on. And then we have Gorpcore, a trend with a name coined after the expression good old raisins and peanuts, a colloquial way to describe hikers' snacks, and a form to express that this is a movement looking for before only functional items. If before Normcore became hype with cleaner and more ordinary looks, now the trend goes further, valuing models previously considered, well, ugly. Its greatest representation is in the commonly called daddy sneakers like gray suede New Balances. Moving on. Oh, that's camp. We definitely can say that the 2020 Met Gala theme couldn't have predicted better what we've seen in fashion from then on, and that has been translated so well into sneakers. Camp is an exaggerated, artificial, theatrical, colorful, and almost tacky fashion, surreal. The biggest representatives are colorful collabs with Japanese anime, games, and cartoons, but also the ones that take advantage of leather characteristics to bring dreamlike ideas to life. Let's talk about furniture. So, if every house has a history, leather furniture can help to write an autobiography, being an alternative for low quality materials that wouldn't last or resist. What we are noticing is a growing appreciation for vintage and heritage, as we saw above, and leather furniture is increasingly seen as a family investment, as well as craving to transform contemporary decor spaces into lasting homes. A movement that also leads us to emotional functionality. After the long period of the pandemic, which redefined the relationship between each person and their home, bringing wellness to every space in the house is reshaping new design ideas for furniture. The goal is to emphasize physical and mental coziness, and to get there, designers are taking advantage of the malleability and comfort inherent to leather. Classic or contemporary? What about both? The combination of these two aesthetics is also nothing new in fashion and decoration, but in a more fresh version of this mix, the lines between vintage and brand new are lost. Timeless leather pieces here function wonderfully as a bridge between classic and contemporary, perennial items that are neither here or there. Just as we saw in fashion and lifestyle, escapism, reconnection within and with nature, and concern for physical and mental well-being are also transforming interiors. In these new contemporary heavens, long and spacious leather sofas or comfortable armchairs work as islands of comfort for reading, contemplating nature, or spending time with a loved one. And leather, mostly in earthy tones, is used as a natural material that connects these spaces even more with the outside. Finally, we have automotive, and we start in luxury with the growing personalized interiors and leather as a premium partner for automotive luxe. a trend boosted by celebrities recognized for their car investments and bespoke interiors. What influenced even a new exclusive products division in Rolls-Royce that launched the Bowtail, currently the most expensive car in the world and entirely bespoke in light blue seats for a famous couple. Do you know Beyoncé and Jay-Z? Our next trend is the translation of the escapist lifestyle that we talked about before, but for the automotive industry, along with the rising valuation of outdoors and nearby travels. What we see here is a comeback of adventure models like Ford Bronco, but with contemporary structures and comfortable and more practical interiors in leather. As we know, cars are right in the middle of sustainability discussion, and efforts in this direction are no longer a differential, they are increasingly mandatory. For this reason, several brands are running to make a sustainability statement, and leather has been used a lot because of its natural origin and durable and sustainable inherent qualities. As we can see in the soon to launch fully electric Mercedes-Benz EQS with leather seats. Personalization is also for everyone in automotive. After all, rising creatives already say that the future is tailored. What we'll see more and more are custom vehicles from the ground up, catered specifically to each client's needs and lifestyle. And leather is the ultimate creative partner for this type of crafts. Our last trend is pop culture as an influence, not just from movies, but increasingly from online games. We see a fertile terrain for investments in bespoke signed-up leather seats, 3D versions for use at the games of the moment, and partnerships with pop culture characters. And those were our 28 trends for the near future. Hope you liked it, and if you did and want to see more, you can follow METCHA on social media and subscribe to our newsletter at metcha.com. We are also open for future partnerships and collaborations, so I'm dropping our contact here on the screen. Thank you very much for your attention.